So, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, and it is my pleasure to bring you FXO.Leenock, who has drawn it up to one apiece in the round of 8 of the TSL4 career qualifier. He is in the blue trunks, and he is playing Zerg to the southwest of Daybreak, versus his opponent. It is SlayerS.Puzzle in the red trunks, playing Protoss to the northeast.
And two base all-ins is the style that Protoss kind of need to do on this map. If you try to slowly take a third base, unless you have a significant advantage, gain through a +1 attack, gain through some form of Void Ray, as we saw in the previous game, it's not possible because we've seen actually Symbol's been probably the guy to bring it into play, more so than anybody else, where he gets ventral sacks and unloads everything in your main. And then if you come back to defend your main, you lose your third, and if you keep your third, you lose your main, and it's a really difficult little situation that Zerg can put Protoss in. And if he wants to try to play a macro game, he has to do something to pull the favor for him. Otherwise, it will not work, and then he'll have to rely on a two-base all-in, which Leenock's shown he's really good against.
He holds it like a boss. He really, really does. And it's a useful talent to have for Zerg at the moment, considering that Protoss are favoring that style, as you pointed out, more and more and more. And at the end of the day, it comes down to what wins you games. It's not down to playing a crowd-pleasing 45-minute game. It is about playing a professional game of StarCraft 2, which involves winning. That's a fairly important thing to do. So if you feel confident enough to do that two-base all-in play, then you absolutely should 99 times out of 100. And Leenock going to open up with a spawning pool first here, and pylon down the lower ground here for Puzzle. Could have built the Forge now, so we could be seeing a Nexus first. Considering the size of the map, it seems very likely at this stage.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Zerg players just aren't blindly building hatches on this map now against Protoss, just because, they will be going Nexus first here, and you're safe against anything. But Leenock will just play pool first, play it safe, because he doesn't know if there's hatchery first or if there's a Forge down or anything. And with this, Leenock can play still pretty greedy. He can go Forge and then a second pylon and still be able to produce a lot of probes behind it. And Leenock, there's a lot of decisions that one small little chubby man has to make, is that how is he going to play this out? Does he play normal, or does he try something wacky?
That's a good question, isn't it? At this stage, you've got to think, well, with one game left in this best-of-3 series, single elimination, once you're out kind of setup, do you really take a risk with something wacky against a player of that caliber?
Maybe no. Maybe no. But if Puzzle puts something out there for Leenock to do, and if we do see a really fast third base with no damage done to Leenock, maybe Leenock will do something, whether it be ventral sack drops or something along those lines. We'll have to see, to be honest. But so far, it's a very textbook style of play, ABC style of play, 3 hatch, 2 Nexus, very, very normal to come in with, and the real strategy, the real decisions won't be made yet.
Yeah, certainly. I always find it interesting that every now and again, for some reason, viewers like to criticize Tastosis for... It's like, oh, at the start of the game, they just talk about completely irrelevant stuff. It's like, because at the start of the game, generally, it's always going to play out the same way on certain maps, and this is a prime example of that. There's not a lot of deviation, especially at this kind of level. You don't get a lot of crazy cheese rushes on maps of this size.
Yeah, we won't see anything until at least the 6-minute mark where decisions start to be made, and it'll be by Puzzle. He's already decided to go +1 attack before Warp Gate Research, before a Sentry, so that option is available. But unfortunately, as he moves out with a probe, it gets tagged really, really early on here, and 3 Lings will follow. But he is building a Stalker instead as a Zealot, and may try to Chrono Boost it and get a second one as well to help and aid another probe to come out. But if he does elect to do a +1 attack again, and if it doesn't work, then it's such a bad position to play from that, so far behind in. So we'll see if that's what it's going to be. It looks like it so far.
It really does, doesn't it? And I suppose it comes down to the timing of the Roach Warren here from Leenock. When does he decide to throw that down? But hang on, 2 more gas coming down on the lower ground. Thing is, I have to wonder, does Puzzle know that Overlord's there? It's pretty standard positioning. Is he throwing down there just as a fake to say, hey, I'm actually teching, when in reality I'm going to go for this big pressure?
Yeah, I mean, that's what he did in game 1 of the tournament here. Sorry, not Puzzle did, the other Protoss player did, Creator did, sorry. That's maybe something that they share builds. I mean, they all play on the Korean server, it may be something, but most likely, it's just going to be a tech play. It's very rare to see those kind of mind games come out, so we're most likely going to see a robotics facility come down out of all techs. Twilight Council still possible, but look, he's adding on additional gateways now, 3. And is he going to build more? And if he is, then yes, he will try to fake out his opponent and get a more heavy sentry attack. But there's an Overlord right next to it.
I got a feeling. Well, Twilight Council coming down here. Well, that's intriguing. What do you reckon from this position?
Well, with the Twilight Council, he's able to go straight into +2. He's able to get Blink, so what he can do is go straight into those 2 upgrades, and then he can throw down even more gateways and try a +2 Blink attack. Trying to take an expansion without a robotics facility is not viable, but he actually has thrown the Robo down now, so it looks like he'll increase his upgrades and then slowly move out eventually. Could be for Warp Prism as well if he continues, so a lot of options, but we are starting to filter them down, and Leenock right now is looking for them. He needs to know what they are, but right now he has absolutely no idea.
No, he doesn't. He saw a gateway going down in the base at a kind of appropriate timing, but he only saw 1. He had no idea from the tech standpoint. He does know about the gas on the natural, but what does he think from that point? He's going to build a Roach Warren. He's already almost complete with his lair here. Macro Hatch coming down for him as well. Even placed in a position where it's kind of a semi-wall-off. And Leenock's going to have to play reactionary. The problem is that, can he react in time? Does he have that information? And right now he doesn't.
And it looks like we are going to see a 3rd base come down. So instead of opting to throw down 4 or 3 additional gateways, he uses that money for a 3rd Nexus. But without an Immortal out, it will start to be a little bit dangerous. But at the meantime, he has a lot of sentries, which he's used from all these gases, which will buy him time to get Immortals out if need be. And so far, Puzzle's taken this really early 3rd base. But Leenock right now is at lair. He's got Roach Speed on the way. He's got +1 Carapace, and he's got a bunch of Lings. So I think Leenock is about to put on the pressure because he's not taking any more gases. He's only at 4 so far, and that definitely means a more heavy Roach play. Like, hardly any Lings will come out. They will help out a little bit, but we're definitely going to see some pressure coming out.
Well, Leenock has now got full scouting information of the base. He knows about the Twilight Council. He also knows about the gateway count. He has also just scouted the 3rd as well, with links down at the bottom. So now he has all the information he could possibly need. He has built a few roaches. He's on 16 at the moment. He's actually now going to throw down a Slayer.
Yeah, he started to take the extra gases, and as soon as your Zerg player takes extra gases, he's not going to hit you with anything. He's got a handful of units out just to try to tickle a couple of units, maybe, bring down hit points on a structure or 2. But with the 4th base and additional gases, he's thrown down the Hive. I mean, not the Hive, sorry, the Spire. So with the Spire play, he can go over to Mutalisk, he can start Corruptors if need be, but most likely, it can be straight for Mutalisk again. And that's really, really good against a Sentry Immortal, because that's very weak anti-air. So that's most likely what Leenock's doing here.
Yeah, and at the moment he's going to knock down the back rocks and just apply a little bit of pressure here. Don't think he's really got enough roaches, but what he can do is drain a hell of a lot of force field energy here by just poking a little bit up the ramp. It's a bit risky. He may lose a lot of roaches in the process, but things are looking okay for him thus far. He's just going to hang around here outside and actually gets caught out. He didn't move quite quickly enough here, and Puzzle is able to split the army in 2 with a very efficient engagement. That was not what Leenock had in mind.
That was really nice, and at the same time, which worked in favor of Leenock, is that the Observer was in the main base looking, is it Infestation Pit, is it an early Hive, is it Hydra Den? No answers again because the Overseer and Queens brought down the Observer. So once again, the Spire got undetected. Therefore, another Immortal's being made. There's no Templar Archives being made. The Arc Cannon's coming down anyway, and that's just in anticipation of something. He doesn't know what, but he's throwing cannons down anyway. It's like you blindly building turrets against Zerg, who could go Mutalisk here. So that's the reason for them going down. But Leenock played a great catch with those, grabbing that Observer, and this is going to work out really well for him.
Yeah, certainly should, and I am a little bit worried now for Puzzle, honestly, and the upgrades are certainly in his favor. By the time any big attack hits, he's going to certainly get tickled here by Mutalisk. By the time any big attack hits, he will have +3, which is certainly going to give him an edge, but Leenock now, Mutas have been spotted here by Puzzle. He's just wheeling around, trying to find an angle, adding on another 6 Mutalisks in the process, and looking to maybe just poke at the bottom. He can pick off maybe a couple of gateways here, do a little bit of damage, but that area is quite locked down. He'd have to dedicate quite a lot to do any real damage there. Puzzle blinking out of the way, almost got out of position here by Leenock's Ling count on the ground there.
And once again, Puzzle's in this position where all he has to do is defend against the mutas. He did it in game 1. Can he do it here in the important game? There's not that many mutas out. There's currently 17, 5 more on the way. So once he starts to reach the 25+ mark, that's when they start basically one-shotting Stalkers and gets really, really dangerous. But with the Templar Archives down, and Storm is soon to be
nice
as well.
blink going in there. Puzzle manages
nice
to do a little bit of damage, and the force fields are great as well. They prevents the majority of the Lings from getting in there, but still taking a little bit of damage one way or the other. Puzzle holds that as well as I suppose could have been expected. Could have been a bit better.
Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, he didn't really lose too much, and he buys himself more time to get Storm, which is, of course, the thing you need to stop this. But Leenock's still looking for an entrance in. He needs to find some way to do damage. Otherwise, of course, the mutas will, likewise in game 1, be rendered useless momentarily, as Storm now is a minute away. Leenock's found an opportunity to go into the main. It is definitely available to him.
Certainly is, and goes immediately after that. Stalk count rips it to pieces, and a nice blink back into the range of the photon cannons here. Leenock is able to dedicate to it, though. He smashes through and looks to try and take one out, but a bit indecisive play there by Leenock. He gets caught out of position. Oh my, oh my.
He's gonna get the cancel on Storm.
Oh, he gets it. Nicely done there by Leenock. And it seemed like that he was just being a little bit indecisive, but eventually he goes for it and takes it out before Puzzle is able to respond, and that is huge.
Yeah, that's really, really big. And not only the cancel on Storm, but the Templar as well. They can't build anymore, so Mutaling and Infest is going to be so strong, and that's such a big win there for Leenock. I cannot stress how big that is. The Hive is on the way now as well, and I'm sure that he'll go Great Aspire too, but that slows down everything for Puzzle. Puzzle, though, is now starting to move out with his units. He is looking to take the center of the map, take a 4th base, play and get rid of the creep tumors as well. But is he going to take a 4th base? The probe actually in the middle looking to put pylons down, so maybe he's just going to try and go for it right now, right here.
That can be pretty risky, but his upgrade count helps. His immortal count is certainly very, very high. The roaches will be dealt with very effectively, but it's a lot of Ling Bane coming in this direction. +2 also looking to upgrade here for the mutas, which will be ready in just under a minute now. Can Puzzle do the damage he needs to make this work to get back into it?
Yeah, I think he's going to go now because he doesn't have Templar, because he doesn't want to rebuild that. He wants to go now before the Great Aspire really kicks in, and he's going to go. He's got +3 attack.
Yeah, will that be enough? Force fields go down, and they're good as well. The Archon eats the majority of the Baneling hits right there. Ended up absolutely fantastic here for Puzzle. Yeah, more force fields. These force fields are fantastic, keeping the Banelings out, although he is eating a lot of fungal damage in the process.
And I think Puzzle may have a little bit too much here. The Mutalists are
I think he might be able to do it.
Banelings
crash in. There's the blink back to avoid that, and eats most of the damage on the Immortals. Things looking pretty decent here for Puzzle.
And now the Immortals are bringing down the spines, and they are working very easily on bringing them down as well. And if that hatch falls, the economy will fall down. But 62 Lings on the way. He needs to warp in Zealots here. Zealots will be so crude. Oh, look at that crucial Ling coming in.
Yep, Zealot's now warped in with the Warp Prism here. Lings come in. He doesn't send them all in at once, which is a crucial mistake. They're coming in one by one. And Puzzle continues to do fantastic damage here. Amazing engagements thus far from him.
Yeah, so far so good, but can he keep going through the Zerg Swarm? It's a never-ending swarm. And look at the Baneling hits eliminating every single Zealot.
Oh, the Immortals are really weak as well. A big warp in right into the center of the fight right here. Gutsy play here by Puzzle. Continues to push his way through this army, but he is bleeding badly at this stage. An aggressive blink comes in. That upgrade count really in favor of Puzzle at this stage and is proving its worth time after time as Puzzle knocks down the Roach Roar and is actually going straight for the natural. More reinforcements coming in here.
And a lot of sentries now, so he's going to have a lot of force fields to cut these Ling Roaches up once again, and Puzzle is in a great position to take this game. Leenock is desperately looking for options. 10 Banelings trying to be morphed in, but Puzzle has such a strong army.
Banelings in the center there, they don't take it out. GG! Puzzle with an incredible performance there.